Question 29 is 15% of 440. So you have to know 10%, you divide by 10. So this number divided by 10, it's going to be easy because there's a 0. So you just knock off the 0. So it will be 44. Now with this, the trick is we want 15%. And 15% is 10% add 5%. Now we've already worked out 10% and now we need to work out 5%. So if we know 10% and we halve this, we end up with 5%. So half of 44 is 22. So 10% add 5% is 15%, which is good. And 44 add 22. So let's do that. 4 add 2 is 6. 4 add 2 is 6. So our answer is 66. So if we want 15% of 440, the answer is 66. Question 30 is 6,574 times 31. So what we're going to do is do 1 times every digit up there and then 3 times every digit up there. So let's start. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 5 is 5. And finally 1 times 6 is 6. Now we're moving on to the next column, the tens column. So what we do is we put a placeholder or a helper. That 0 is a helper. So now we do 3 times 4 is 12. Put the 2 down, carry the 1. Now it's 3 times 7. So 3 times 7 is 21, plus the 1 we've carried over is 22. So we put the 2 down and carry the 2 over to the next column. Now, third calculation, 3 times 5. So 3 times 5 is 15, plus the 2 we've carried over is 17. So we put the 7 down, carry the 1 over to the next column. Now it's 3 times 6. So this is the calculation we want to do. 3 times 6 is 18, plus this 1 is 19. We put the 9 down and carry the 1 over to the next column because there's nothing else to do. So we can write it like this straight away. So this is our calculation. We just need to add the 2 numbers. Always start at the right hand side with the smallest column. This here is what we used to call the units column, and the children now call it the ones column. So 4 add 0, 4, 7 add 2, 9, 5 add 2, 7, 6 add 7 is 13. Put the 3 down, carry the 1 over to the next column. 9, there's nothing there, so it's 9 add this 1 we've carried over is 10. Put the 0 down, carry the 1 over. And finally 1 add 1 because there's nothing above, so it's 2. And as before, 1, 2, 3, comma. This here we've got to look at as thousands. So it's 203,794. Question 31 is 1 4/5 plus 3/10. So now we have a mixed number. This is a mixed number because you've got the whole part and the fraction part, and you've got a proper fraction. So our first step is to turn this into an improper fraction. And what you do is you multiply the big number by the bottom number, the big number by the denominator, and then add the top. So multiply the big number by the bottom and add the top. So 1 times 5 is 5, plus the 4 is 9. So 1 times 5 plus 4. So 1 times 5 is 5, plus 4 is 9. So now what happens to this? It becomes 9 over 5, 9/5, plus 3/10. Now, if you notice, these two are different. So we have to make these two denominators, the bottom numbers, the same. I can see that the 5 can be turned into a 10 by multiplying it by 2. So if I multiply the denominator, the bottom number, by 2, I have to multiply the top number or the numerator by 2. So this fraction now becomes 9 times 2, which is 18, and 5 times 2, which is 10, plus 3/10. So let me take this up here. 18/10 plus 3/10. So now it's easy because these two bottom numbers or the denominators are the same. So all you do is write the denominator and simply add 18, add 3, which is 21. Now if you notice here, this is also an improper fraction. And we have to turn that into a mixed number. And it's simple. You say, how many 10s are there in 21? 2. Remainder 1. And then this number goes at the bottom here. So the answer is 2 and 1/10.